In the quiet moments, when your mind speaks without filters. Most people never stop to ask this question, and yet this single question controls the direction of their entire life, whether they realize it or not. Inside you, right now, there is an image, a silent picture of who you believe you are. You did not choose it consciously. You did not design it carefully. It was formed slowly, over years, through experiences, words, and emotions. This image does not shout, it whispers, but it decides how high you aim, how much you tolerate, and how far you allow yourself to go. This is the concept of yourself. You may think your life is shaped by circumstances, by money, by people, by luck, but psychology shows something deeper. Your actions obey your self-image. Your choices follow what you believe you deserve, and your results rarely rise above the limits you accept inside your own mind. Think about this for a moment. Two people can face the same situation. One moves forward with confidence, the other freezes with doubt. The difference is not intelligence, it is not opportunity. It is the invisible story they tell themselves about who they are. That story lives quietly in the background of your thoughts. It shows up when you hesitate, when you overthink, when you lower your standards, when you say, "This is just how I am." Every time you repeat that sentence, you strengthen the image, and the image strengthens your reality. The mind loves familiarity, even if the familiar hurts, even if it limits, even if it keeps you small. A negative self-concept feels safe because it is known, and the brain will protect what is known, even at the cost of growth. This is why people stay in patterns they hate. This is why motivation alone does not last, because you cannot outperform the image you carry of yourself for long. But here's the part most people never hear. You are not reacting to life as it is. You are reacting to life as you believe you are. That belief shapes your posture, your tone, your patience, your courage. It shapes the risks you take and the dreams you silently abandon. Long before success or failure shows up in the real world, it already happened in the mind. And the most dangerous part is this. The self-concept feels like truth. It feels logical. It feels proven. But in reality, it is only a collection of past moments that your mind decided to accept as identity. You were not born with it, you learned it, which means it can be unlearned. But that does not happen by accident. It begins with awareness, with the courage to observe your own inner dialogue, to notice the labels you give yourself, to question the limits you defend. This is uncomfortable. The ego resists it, because the ego wants consistency, not truth. Yet every major change in a human life begins with this internal shift. Before habits change, before confidence appears, before discipline becomes natural, the self-concept must move. And this is why staying until the end of this message matters, because understanding this concept is not just about insight, it's about control. Those who stay with this idea, who truly grasp it, gain something rare, the ability to reshape their inner foundation. And when the foundation changes, the structure of life follows. You do not need more pressure. You do not need more motivation. You need clarity about who you believe you are. Because once that belief changes, effort feels lighter, action feels natural, and progress stops feeling like a fight. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about seeing what was never truly you in the first place. And as you continue listening, you will begin to notice something powerful. The distance between who you are today and who you could become is not measured by skill or time. It is measured by identity. Change the concept of yourself, and the world responds differently. Once you understand that your life follows the image you carry inside, a deeper question appears. Where did this image come from? Because no belief about yourself appeared out of nowhere. Every idea you hold about who you are was built, layer by layer, long before you had the awareness to question it. Your self-concept was shaped in moments that seemed small at the time. A sentence spoken by someone you trusted, a comparison that made you feel less, a success that made you feel capable, a failure that stayed in your memory longer than it should have. The mind records emotional experiences, not facts, and whatever is repeated with emotion becomes accepted as truth. When you were a child, you did not have filters. You absorbed meaning directly. When someone praised you, your mind learned, "This is who I am." When someone criticized you, your mind learned the same way. Over time, these moments stacked on top of each other, and slowly an identity formed, not based on your potential, but based on interpretation. The brain is a pattern-building machine. It looks for consistency. It connects dots. If something happens once, it's an event. If it happens twice, it's coincidence. If it happens 3 times, the mind starts calling it identity. This is how a single failure turns into "I'm not good enough." This is how one rejection turns into "I'm not chosen." The mind generalizes to protect itself, but protection often turns into limitation. And here's what makes this process powerful and dangerous at the same time. Once the self-concept is formed, the mind begins to filter reality to match it. You notice evidence that supports your belief and ignores what challenges it. If you believe you are confident, you remember moments of strength. If you believe you are weak, you remember moments of hesitation. The mind is not neutral. It is loyal to the story it already believes. This is why people repeat the same emotional cycles even when circumstances change. New opportunities appear, but the old identity shows up first. The mind whispers familiar lines. "This won't last. People like me don't succeed. I've always been this way." These thoughts feel automatic because they were practiced for years. Repetition made them comfortable. Comfort made them feel true. But notice something important. None of this happened because you decided it consciously. You did not sit down one day and choose limiting beliefs. They were installed through repetition, emotion, and meaning, which means they are learned responses, not permanent traits. That realization matters more than motivation, because motivation fades, understanding stays. You are not stuck because you lack ability. You are stuck because your mind is loyal to an outdated image, an image formed by past environments that may no longer exist, an image created when you had less power, less awareness, and fewer choices. The mind still reacts as if the past is present. It protects old definitions even when they no longer serve you. This is not weakness, it is conditioning, and conditioning can be rewritten. The first step is not forcing confidence or pretending strength. The first step is recognizing that the voice describing who you are is not objective truth. It is a record of emotional history. Once you see this, the belief loosens. It no longer feels absolute. It becomes something you can observe instead of obey. This creates space, and in that space, choice appears. You begin to see that you are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what you accepted as meaning, and meaning can change. The moment you realize your self-concept was formed, not fixed, something powerful happens. You stop blaming yourself, and you stop defending limitations that were never truly yours. Once you see that your self-concept was learned, not chosen, another uncomfortable truth comes into focus. Most of the limits you live by were never tested. They were accepted. They became rules in your mind simply because they were repeated often enough or felt strong enough at the wrong moment. These beliefs act like invisible walls. You don't see them, but you feel them every time you think about trying something new. The hesitation, the tightness in the chest, the sudden flood of reasons why now is not the right time. This is not logic, this is the self-concept defending itself. The mind does not ask, is this belief true? It asks, is this belief familiar? Familiarity feels safe, and safety feels right, even if it keeps you far from the life you want. This is why people protect their limitations more fiercely than their dreams. A dream is uncertain. A belief, even a painful one, feels certain. Over time, these unquestioned beliefs become a prison that looks like personality. I'm just not confident. I've always been bad with money. I'm not the kind of person who speaks up. These statements sound harmless, even honest,